morning, everyone. And first of all, it's been a real honor and a pleasure to share the stage with some of the greatest maestros in the industry. Uh, you know, the the time is of TV now starts with streaming. I know what most of you guys are thinking, that here is another guy who's going to start with the death of linear television. To be honest, we are not here to talk about the death of TV, but what we are here to talk about, it's actually the rebirth of television. In fact, I've been looking at a lot of people asking me questions on how is TV transforming and how is CTV picking up in the Indian market. And there are a lot of complexities today in the world. What I'm going to do is in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to take you through a lot of simplest understandings of what CTV is doing in the Indian market today. And we are going to bust some myths, because in the end, within all of these complexities, all of us forget one fundamental thing, which is it is still just television. So in the next 10 minutes, I'll walk you through what CTV is and what Samsung is doing in this space. When we talk about the television today, so when we talk about the television today, imagine the TV a decade ago in your homes. It used to be a box which used to be connected to a lot of wires, and then it used to stream or it used to show content in specified times during the day, which we all call as appointment viewing. But when you look at the television today, it is more than just a box to watch content, but it has become intuitive. It understands what kind of content that you want to watch. In fact, it can also tell you or show you what kind of content which you would actually be interested in watching in what time of the day. So the TV today has gone from being a normal idiot box to actually being something called as an intelligent box. And if you actually look at it, TV is at the center of the cultural moments in an Indian household. And it serves different need states within the household. So for somebody elderly in the house, it is a platform to watch content or live events. For the teens, it is a place where they consume or use it for gaming. For the little ones, it's actually a place for learning. And in fact, we've also seen people today watch or use the television to track their health goals. When we talk about Samsung, Samsung is the #1 OEM globally for the past 18 years. In fact, in India alone, we have done sales worth 10,000 crores in 2024. And our aim is to capture almost 1/3 of the Indian market, which I think is not a distant dream to have. From a consumer standpoint, what we are seeing is that consumers today are preferring to have larger TV screens. In fact, when we started off the business back in 2022, the definition of premium was somewhere around a 50-incher television or a 55-incher television. But today, that boundary is constantly increasing. In fact, when we talk about premium televisions today, we are talking about a 65-incher or a 75-incher. And in order to capture this premium segment of users, Samsung today has launched a 100 and 115-inch TV screen. And to be honest, it's not all about the size of the TV screen. Users today also want the best kind of technology. So we have the QLEDs, the Neo QLEDs, the OLEDs, 8K, 4K, and of course, because we are at the cusp of the AI revolution, Samsung today has launched something which is called as Vision AI. What does Vision AI do? It makes your TV screen more intuitive. It can now understand gesture controls, wherein you would no longer be using the remote to access your television. And people who already have used the Samsung ecosystem know what Smart Thing is. It is basically a dashboard which connects and integrates all the devices in your television into one easy viewing mode. So here's a small sneak peek into what Vision AI is. Can you just play?
Since the moment we turned it on for the first time, it's been there with our favorite shows. But now, with Samsung Vision AI, TV is about something bigger. You.
Me?
Yeah, you. Because your every day is something to celebrate.
One or two.
You put way too many in.
And nothing should come between you and the moment.
Total of 1 cup of all-purpose flour.
And because you... Hold on, did you just turn on the TV by barking? And because your old memories should always feel new.
Mom, you're so good.
You see, for the first time, the most important thing about television isn't playing on television. It's who's watching.
Isn't that amazing? We are constantly trying to understand how a user interacts with the television and constantly trying to push the boundary in order to make it more easier and more enjoyable for a user to experience our TVs. When we look at CTV, or when we used to talk about CTV a couple of months back, it always used to be a tier 1 phenomena. Although for Samsung, our top markets still continue to be Maharashtra, Telangana and New Delhi, but almost 20 to 30% of our total user base today resides in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities. I've been getting a lot of questions around NPT or PT, which is National Prime Time, and a lot of people ask me that, when it comes to streaming, does National Prime Time is still relevant? The answer is a yes and a no. Let me explain. A yes, because during the national prime time, we still see a surge in TV watching behavior, which means that during this time, there are a lot of more TVs which get turned on. And a no, because NPT or PT was always considered to be a linear strategy or a phenomena. But when it comes to CTV, almost 97% of the total users who switch on their TVs during the national prime time actually stream content. And when it comes to linear, the linear viewership almost decreases to 3% over the course of the entire day during the NPT. So does that mean that these users are completely off traditional channels and advertisers can no longer reach them? The answer is no, because only the mode of consumption of content has changed, wherein a lot of users today are warming up to services like FAST. For the uninitiated, FAST stands for Free Ad-Supported Streaming Television. In fact, Samsung TV Plus, which is our own FAST service, is the number 2 watched app across Samsung televisions in India today. Almost 86% of total AVOD users stream into our FAST service. With Samsung TV Plus, you get almost 150 plus channels. It is completely brand safe, and these are all premium channels. And the best part is it comes absolutely free to the user till the time he owns that television. Here's a small sneak peek into what Samsung TV Plus is.
शादी करने का बहुत संदूक आओ
I'm a showstopper. I'm a showstopper. I'm a showstopper. I'ma make 'em all holler. Check it out, bring 'em out, jaw dropper. I'm a jaw dropper. Look at me, yeah, I'm a showstopper. I'm a showstopper.
So when you invest with Samsung ads, you can be sure that we will be driving the best outcomes for your brand in a very brand safe environment. The crux of what Samsung ads today is the audiences that we cater to. And if I have to give you a small gist into what our audiences are explorers who frequently travel. Our audiences are e-com enthusiasts who frequently buy products online. They are people who are interested in finance, stocks, savings, mutual funds. They are aspiring homeowners, and in the end, they are also looking for premium products which they are able to buy. So how are advertisers using the power of the big screen? Here's a small example of how NPCI launched their RuPay credit card during the most sought after inventory in the Indian ecosystem, which is the IPL inventory, wherein they were able to garner almost 7.2 million unique reach across the campaign duration. The impact, almost 63% of the campaign was delivered to TVs which were not connected to linear, which means that this is absolute incremental reach over your linear TV plan for a fraction of the budget that you spend on linear. And we also delivered a benchmark 0.24% of CTR across the campaign. The impact on brand KPIs, as you see, we are able to generate amazing deltas, especially across brand favorability and purchase intent. Here's a second example of how Policy Bazaar actually used the fast streaming service, which is Samsung TV Plus, through which they were able to generate almost 4.5 million unique device reach and an average completion rate of almost 90% for a 20-seconder ad which plays on television. The impact, almost 54% was delivered to affluent audiences, which are TVs above 50 inches. Almost 45% of the audiences that they catered to are GEC consumers, and 37% of the viewers are actually business and news channel viewers. The impact, double-digit deltas across brand matrices that you see here, whether it is brand favorability, ad awareness, aided awareness, or purchase intent. So when you invest with Samsung TV, you get the power of an OEM, you get an absolute undivided or absolute scale, you get high value audiences that you cater to, you get the impact of the large screen when it comes to the television, especially imagine a creative which is a 4K creator playing on a 55 or a 65-inch television, and this is guaranteed value and results. We are completely platform deterministic data, wherein you get absolute log level data. So there is no kind of upscaling or there is no kind of multipliers that we use. So here is my take from all of you sitting in the room. The next time when a client comes to you and tells you that he wants to buy TV, I would like you to change the default setting in your brains and not open the linear spreadsheet, but start with the CTV playbook, because TV today is not defined by a wire coming out of the walls, but it is more from a measurement, the platform and the choice of content that a user has. So with that, thank you so much for being an absolutely amazing audience. If you have any more questions, we are around and we'll take that up. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day.